back from our little cozy day at the park. It was so much fun. We're trying to catch those last few days of when you can just go out and enjoy just having a little picnic at the park, because once it gets too cold or it starts raining, obviously we're not going to be able to do that as much. Today I honestly just want to spend the day reading. I don't really want to do anything else besides read. I'm a person that loves to stay productive and to be constantly doing things, but that can be very detrimental when you're just always doing things and not giving yourself the space and time to just relax, to just sit down with a good old book and just enjoy some you time. You don't always have to be doing something amazing or productive. I mean, I feel like reading is something productive, but also it can be something just cozy and relaxing. And that's why I absolutely love reading, because I feel like you're getting 2 in 1. You're doing a little bit of productiveness and you're also just relaxing at the same time and reading a nice little story. But anyways, today I am not doing anything else besides just enjoying my day reading. Plus, I have a lot of fall books that I want to read this fall season, and I have only gotten through a few, so I want to make a dent in my fall reading list. The next book I want to pick up is Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison, which is a werewolf novel. I am so excited to read this because I haven't read a werewolf novel in such a long time. I was really into Teen Wolf back in the day and I absolutely loved that show, and I feel like ever since then there hasn't really been like a nice werewolf show or series that I've really been into. This book is described as a dark comedic love story with brilliant layered portraits of trauma, rage, and vulnerability. And it's about a girl whose name is Rory, which I love because hello, Gilmore Girls, who gets attacked by something mysterious, and then her life kind of makes a turn, and not for the best. Some weird things start happening to her, and it could be a cause because of this thing that she was attacked that bit her. So I'm excited to start reading this. I also want to finish that middle grade book that I've been reading called Ravenfall. If you're new to my channel, then you know that I love reading middle grade books. I think it's a great way to reconnect with your inner child. Middle grade books are so cozy and magical. I think reading middle grade books is a great way to add a spark of magic into your life. I don't know, I just love reading middle grade. Something about them is just so magical. So that's my plan for today. I just want to have a cozy reading day, unlock some of these books that I want to read this fall, because of course then comes those winter books. I was also thinking of checking out my local Barnes & Nobles and seeing what they have. I like to peep in there once in a while just to see if anything catches my attention, though I am not looking for anything particular. There is a book that is coming out this Tuesday that I'm waiting for. I might just pop in there today. Who knows? We'll see. I highly suggest taking a day out of your week to just set the intention that today is just going to be all about doing this one thing and nothing else. I think it's so important, especially with all these things that we all have going on in our everyday lives. It is important to schedule those self-care days. For me, reading is self-care, so I really like to be intentional and tell myself, okay, this time frame or this day is going to be for reading. Because honestly, if I'm not intentional with it and being mindful that this is what I want to do, it would just slip over my head and I would just go about my day working or doing other tasks that have nothing to do with self-care. So it is important. It is very important to be intentional and to schedule those days, to tell yourself, hey, this day you're having an intentional day off. And by intentional, I mean that you are aware of what you're doing, that you're doing this one thing for the purpose of it restoring your energy, restoring your mind, your body. So that is what I mean by being intentional. So I'm being intentional with reading today. And especially as a creative myself, I think days like these are very important to keep that creativeness alive, and also to just romanticize the autumn. I mean, what better way than to read spooky and cozy autumnal books to just keep the ambiance of fall alive, or whatever season you're on alive. So anyways, I'm gonna cozy up on my couch or on my bed, we'll see, and just get to reading. So yeah. All right, I am 50 pages into Such Sharp Teeth, and it is escalating. I am so surprised by how fast this story is moving. Definitely has my attention, so I'm excited to continue reading this. I believe this book is about 300 pages, so my goal is to read at least half of that, so like 150. I think that's manageable and doable. That way I only have 150 pages left to read, and I feel like that's manageable to finish this book within like the next 2 or 3 days. But for right now, I'm gonna take a break and I'm actually gonna go to Spirit Halloween with my mom. I did plan to go to Barnes, but I'm gonna wait to go to Barnes until Tuesday. Today's Sunday, by the way. I'm gonna wait to go to Barnes until Tuesday because there's a book coming out by the same author that wrote Ravenfall. The new book that she came out with is called Hollowthorn, which is a sequel to Ravenfall. So it's coming out this Tuesday and I want to go get it. But for now, me and my mom want to go take a peep at Spirit Halloween. We're both a little late in decorating our space for Halloween, at least outdoors. So we just want to kind of go look to see what they have. Plus I have a 20% coupon from Spirit Halloween, so I might as well just take advantage of it. So I'll probably just show a few clips here of Spirit Halloween, see what they have, and I'll see you back here when I come back. Well, first of all, it is the next day. Yesterday, I started reading Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison, and wow, I read the first 100 pages already, and this has escalated really quickly, and I'm loving the energy that this is giving off. I didn't expect for this book to escalate the way it did, but I'm kind of glad. I'm glad because it has my attention. I am sucked into the story. I will say that everything is seeming kind of like cliche. I don't know if that's a word. You know when you can tell what's about to happen? That is what is happening in this book. If you've seen a werewolf movie, you kind of probably already know what happens, right? Someone gets bitten and then they start feeling a little woozy and full moon, you know, stuff like that. I don't want to give too much off because, you know, some of those same elements are happening here. So it seems kind of like cliche. So I'm really hoping that somewhere in the storyline we're gonna see something fresh added, something new added to a werewolf storyline. There's nothing new being said about a werewolf story that I don't already know, but nonetheless I'm really enjoying it. Honestly, I like the pacing of this. I'm kind of glad that it's going by quick. Otherwise I feel like if it was going by slow, maybe I would have gotten a little bored of this, but I'm liking it so far. So I brought Such Sharp Teeth with me to work. Yes, for folks who don't know, I have a part-time job, and I think it's important to say this. I don't just do YouTube. You know, YouTube for me is not profitable right now. I'm not getting any money for making videos, though that is the ultimate goal. I would love to dedicate my days to creating content for you all, but that is not the case yet. And though I do have other things that do bring income for me from my art and the book that I wrote and stuff like that, unfortunately that is not enough to cover my expenses. I just kind of wanted to mention that and be fully transparent. And I'm not ashamed to admit that I work a retail job or a part-time job while I'm pursuing my creative endeavors, things that I absolutely love. I used to work in corporate and I used to have a desk job, and as a great income stream that was, and very well paid for me, it was just not making me happy. And when I started pursuing my art a few years ago, I dedicated to fully just doing that. But if you're an artist yourself, you know it's not just easy to just fully commit to just doing art and that's all you do. So I told myself that I would have a part-time job while I try to pursue my art and my writing. And honestly, I'm very happy with that decision. I feel like I can dedicate more of my time to art and my creative endeavors. So that is a reality, and I just wanted to be transparent about that. There are a lot of folks out here who are striving to create the life that they want, and they're working so hard, and they split themselves between doing their creative endeavors while also working a 9-to-5, while also having those other side things going on that can help them financially while they pursue the things that they absolutely love. And I think that's very admirable. I in no means want to give off the vibe that YouTube is all I do and that I make great income from being an artist and writing, because that's just not true yet to me. And though I fully trust that that will be the life that I will create for myself one day, I am not there, and I need a little bit of help. And for that, I just decided to pick up a part-time job at a retail store, and honestly, I'm absolutely happy about that. I'm not working in corporate anymore, so it's less stress for me. I get to clock in, clock out, get a paycheck, and come and work on the stuff that I'm passionate about. So I'm treating this YouTube and my art and my writing as my full-time job, and my retail job as that little side hustle that I'm doing. So yeah, I just wanted to be transparent about that. But my lunch breaks consist of reading and eating sandwiches and some grapes that I literally munched on all of them already. So yeah, just wanted to give you all an update. But today I am planning on hopefully knocking out another 100 pages, and I'll just give you all an update later. Hi friends, so I am on my lunch break at work, and I forgot to tell you guys that I've been listening to a couple of audiobooks. I'm eating some quick little McDonald's. I've been listening to Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice to Murder, and I just finished it and I absolutely loved it. I love the personality of Vera Wang. The book is about Vera Wang, who runs a tea shop in San Francisco. She's a widow. She runs her tea shop where she doesn't really get that many clients. And she has a son. Her son is, I believe, a lawyer. So he's always busy. She doesn't really get to talk to him that much. And so she has a lot of time on her hands. And one day she wakes up and there is a body in her tea shop, a dead man. And so the story is about Vera Wang, who is trying to solve this mystery because she has a lot of time in her hands. But besides that, honestly, I more so enjoyed the personality of the book. At the very end, yeah, it came together, the mystery and who was the initial killer. But I more so enjoy the personality of especially Miss Vera Wang. I really love when books, and when it has to do about a particular ethnicity or culture, I really love how the personality really comes up in the story. You could really see the personality of Vera Wang. And even though it is a murder mystery book, I particularly thought it was very cozy, just because there's like a lot of talk about food and Chinese food, and it just sounds all yummy. I really loved how this entire murder mystery, as Vera Wang was trying to solve who killed the person that was found in her tea shop, how she had all these suspects in mind and how she formed like actually really good relationships with them, how she came to this situation to try and solve it with comforting foods. I just thought that was so cozy. So I finished that at work today, and I started reading Her Body and Other Parties, which is a collection of short stories by Carla Machado. I think that's the author's name. I just started it. I'm 2 hours in, and I am, you know, it's not like the best book to be reading while at work. I'm listening to the audiobook, and that's the good thing about my job, is that you know, as long as you're doing your job, they're totally lenient on you. But anyways, I've been listening to the audiobook as I'm working on the floor, and it's probably not the best book to just be reading on audiobook as you're working, because some of the things that are coming up in this story requires for me to make some facial expressions. And so you can imagine me being on the sales floor, folding clothes and doing whatnot with customers around, and I'm just like with my facial expressions, because this book, y'all, this book is something else. Only 2 hours in, but I'm really enjoying it. This is the first book from this author that I've been reading or listening to, and I'm in love. Like, I absolutely love the style of writing. I really appreciate writing that is atmospheric, that it is kind of prose, that really makes you sit there and visualize the author is writing. Like, you can actually see it in your mind. So this book is giving me all of that, and I feel like I've found a new author whose work I'm just completely just stunned over. So I'm really enjoying that. But besides that, you guys, I'm on my lunch break, and this is life, you know, eating, working in the mornings, and also making content for you all. I'm still reading Such Sharp Teeth. I have less than 100 pages to go, so I am dedicated to finishing that hopefully tonight. So yeah, all right, that's the update for now. I'm gonna go back to eating my lunch. Friends, so it's the next day, and I finally finished Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison, and I am sad to say that I didn't really super like this book. It was an okay read, enough okay to just get me through the book, but the story was very It was very bland. I'm kind of sad about that because I was looking forward to reading this by Rachel Harrison, because Rachel Harrison wrote Cackle, and I've heard such great things about Cackle. I haven't personally read Cackle yet, but a lot of my favorite booktubers have talked about Cackle before, and so when I seen that, I was like, oh, let me read that. I got this because it was like a buy one get one 50% off at Barnes and Nobles, so I figured I would just pick this up. But yeah, I didn't really like it. I wasn't a fan of the writing. I wasn't a fan of the story. The story in general was kind of very generic. There wasn't a lot of sort of aha moments. I personally like a book that can make me think and even problem solve a little bit. Well, let me back up. I sometimes like those books. I also like my low stakes books, the books that I can just chill and get cozy with, that doesn't require too much thinking. But also I do love a good book that has me problem solve, or has me really think hard and trying to figure out who's doing what's gonna happen next. And with this one, I feel like I was able to pinpoint a lot of things that were gonna happen ahead of time. And it was just very generic. So it's a bummer because I was really looking forward to reading a werewolf novel. Some of the things I did like about this book, however, were the exploration of mother-daughter relationships. Our main protagonist doesn't have the best relationship with her mother, and so I loved reading about that perspective. Also, our main protagonist's sister in this story, her sister's pregnant, and it was interesting and nice reading about someone who isn't enjoying being pregnant and all the things that correlate to that experience, because often we hear that pregnancy is this miraculous and beautiful thing, and many people who get pregnant might feel like that, and that might be true to them, but we rarely hear about how pregnancy can actually be not the great experience for a lot of people. So I did love that. It was nice reading about that. It was nice having that perspective. But besides that, like, the actual werewolf storyline was very bland. The love interest in here is kind of, I don't know, it's not that great. Again, very generic. And then at the end, how it ends with the love story, with the whole werewolf thing, it was just very very. But again, it was just enough to just have me continue reading the book and not DNF it. So it wasn't boring to the point where I just needed to put it away. It gave just enough juice, just enough action for me to continue reading. But I know this reading vlog, or whatever I'm gonna call it, was kind of chaotic, I feel. I don't know, maybe I'll see once I start editing it, but I thought I was gonna read more in this reading vlog, and I actually only like physically read this book. I didn't get to my Ravenfall book that I meant to read in this vlog, but I did finish some audiobooks. I did mention about Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice to Murder, I believe, and I already gave my perspective on that. I absolutely love that book. That book, I actually want to do a little comparison. That book actually gave me what this book didn't. I feel like Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice to Murder wasn't like the most creative story out there, but what it did give me was personality. I feel like I could read the personality of Vera Wong, of all the characters in the writing style, and compared to this one, it was just very subtle, very bland. I couldn't really see the personality in this book from our characters. I love Vera Wong's. I did get through that one in this vlog, even though I sucked at of recording that entire experience. And another one that I did not even record at all was actually Riley Sager's The Only One Left. I listened to the whole audiobook while I was at work, and I actually really enjoyed it. That was my first book that I've read from Riley Sager, and I love the writing style. It gave me everything horror, gave me everything mysterious, everything creepy and eerie. The only thing that I didn't super enjoy about The Only One Left was how everything kind of super came together at the end. There was like no no cracks of just leaving it to the imagination. Everything just super came pieced together at the end. And I'm someone that I just really enjoy that, leaving something to a what if or what could have been, or I don't know. I hope I'm making sense. But everything just super came pieced together at the very end, which I wasn't a huge fan of. I'm definitely going to continue reading Riley Sager. I thought it was a very creative story. Now that book did really give me some aha moments. If you're unfamiliar with The Only One Left by Riley Sager, you've got creepy house where a person who was accused of murdering her entire family lives. And you have one of our main protagonists who is sent to care for her. She's a caretaker. And finally, the person that was accused of murder, she is in her old ages and she decides to tell her caretaker exactly what happened the night that all her family died. So it was interesting to say the least how everything came to be. But again, everything just miraculously came pieced together at the end. Too pieced together, too perfect. I don't like too perfect. But besides that, those are the 3 books that I read in this reading vlog, which I completely sucked at recording. So I'm gonna do a quick little haul of what I got at Barnes & Noble's. I went to Barnes & Noble's a few days ago. I'm gonna show what I actually went to Barnes & Noble's for, and then I ended up getting some other things which was not planned. I don't know if this happens to you guys where you go for a particular thing. I had 2 books in mind that I know my local Barnes & Noble's had in stock, and then I ended up coming out with 4 books instead of 2. So this is one of the first books that I actually went into the store for, Witch of Wild Things by Raquel Vasquez Gilliand. I actually really love Raquel Vasquez Gilliand. I read her other novel, which was Cia Martinez and the Moonlit Beginning of Everything. I absolutely loved that book. And I just got her most recent novel, Witch of Wild Things. I absolutely went for it when I seen one of her posts that said practical magic but Latinx. Of course I'm gonna go get this, and that's all I need to know about this book. I don't need to know any more. Practical magic but just Latinx. Witch of Wild Things. I'm so excited to get to this. The next book that I actually went in for was Hallowthorn by Kaylin Josephson. This just recently came out, and this is the prequel, I believe, to the other book that I'm currently reading, which is called Ravenfall. These are middle grade books, and these just give me the just coziest vibes. So this is the one I'm currently still reading, Ravenfall, and I believe the town is called Ravenfall, but it's about this inn. And this inn is it's like a bed and breakfast, I believe, and it's ran by a family who has psychic abilities. This boy comes into town who has lost his brother. His brother's missing, and the family of psychics ends up helping find his brother. Or potentially, I don't know, I'm not there yet. But in this book, there's also talk about this other town called Hallowthorn, which is this one. So this just came out. I honestly don't really know what it's about. I'm sure it follows a similar sort of plot line, and both books are based during the autumn season, autumn holiday, winter-ish season. So I'm excited to also get to this. So those 2 books were the books that I initially went in for. Now, this is what I left with as well. Bookshops and Bone Dust. Okay, this is the prequel to the infamous Legends and Lattes, the book that really set it off for me last year, which had all the cozy, no stakes at all vibes. I absolutely loved reading Legends and Lattes, and this is the prequel. I honestly was extremely surprised that I found this at Barnes & Noble's because we're still currently in October, and this isn't supposed to come out for another 2 weeks. I think it's like early November, but I was like, I cannot just leave it there. Like, you don't just run into something that's supposed to not be out until another 2 weeks. So of course I had to pick it up. I believe this is still following Viv, the same character in Legends and Lattes, but this I think has to do with maybe before she opened up her coffee shop in Legends and Lattes. I'm not sure, but the title says bookshop, so apparently it's going to be in some sort of bookshop, and I'm excited for this one. And then this one was a complete random buy, but it just sounded too good to just pass by, and it's actually a graphic novel. It's called Hide by Kirsten White. And then in the back says, a high-stakes hide-and-seek competition comes to life in this stunningly illustrated graphic novel. This looks really cool, and just look at that back. It says here, the challenge: spend a week hiding in an abandoned amusement park and don't get caught. The price: enough money to change everything. Even though everyone is desperate to win, to seize a dream future or escape a haunting past, Mac is sure she can beat her competitors. All she has to do is hide, and she's an expert at that. It's the reason she's alive and her family isn't. But as the people around her begin disappearing, one by one, Mac realizes that this competition is even more sinister than she imagined, and that together might be the only way to survive. 14 competitors, 7 days, everywhere to hide but nowhere to run. Come out wherever you are. This sounds really good. And if you've seen my bookshelf tour video, then I mentioned on there that I really want to expand my graphic novel collection. That's one of the things I really want to do. So any chance I get, I'm gonna continue buying graphic novels because I absolutely love them. I devour them so fast. And then the last thing I got is not a book, but it's actually a planner. I got this cute little planner. It says 2023 to 2024. I actually considered returning this because this started in 2023 in July and it goes all the way to December 2024. But it's like I already missed like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 months. So I already missed this much of planning. And I should have thought about it when I was at the store, but I didn't. But I still have my receipt. So I'm thinking about returning it and seeing if there's one that's, I don't know if they make planners from November 2023 to like December 2024, but I don't know. I guess I should just go look and see. But I love the cover. It's very botanical. It just gives me all the vibes that I love being around in. And this year, I started off strong, planning and executing all my stuff, but as the year went by, things just got really hectic and I just kind of stopped. But I need to get back into it because with the release of my upcoming book, and I also work a part-time retail job and then doing YouTube and then doing Patreon and all these other in-between responsibilities that I have, as you can imagine, my head is just all over the place. So I need something that just keeps me grounded, and I really want to shoot for just planning. And I love the whole idea of like planning on my iPad or planning on some sort of software. I know there's like Monday.com and stuff like that, but I'm more of a physical gal. I need something physical I can carry with me. I can just pop open and see what's going on. So we'll see. Maybe I'll keep it because I do actually really love it, but I don't know. But that's it for the vlog, you guys. I really hope that you all enjoyed it. I know it was a bit chaotic. I was kind of all over the place, but that's just life. And I really want to continue making very ambient and calming videos, but sometimes all I can really do is just record my everyday little snippets of life, because that's all I can do. I have a lot of things that I'm working on, and it's really hard sometimes to stretch beyond and do like the atmospheric videos that I was doing in the beginning. But that doesn't mean I'm not gonna do them anymore. I just have to pick and choose when I have time to actually sit down and record those kind of videos. So I hope that you don't mind very casual videos like this one. But yeah, friends, let me know if you have read any of the books that I mentioned on here. Let me know what you thought about them. Let me know what you're reading. What are you planning to read for November? I'm curious because I still need to build my November TBR. So curious what you are all reading. Thank you again for being here. I really appreciate your support. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, engage with this video as it would really help me out. But until then, friends, thank you again. Take care and I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.